Hi, Islanders. This is Hana from South Korea. A friend of mine came to visit me in my forest village the other day. As we walked along the forest path, she told me a story. She has a very close friend who is a lesbian. And recently, that friend was watching an old K pop girl group on TV and said something hateful about them. My friend asked me, with a voice full of disappointment, how could she, as a woman and as a member of a minority community herself, mock another woman so easily? Her question lingered in my mind, and it reminded me of the actress Carla Sofia Gascon. She is a transgender actress who won Best Actress at the Cannes Film Festival for the movie Emilia Perez. As the spotlight hit her, her past hateful comments on social media came to light. Most of them were aimed at Asian or African actors and their work. She mocked the Oscar win for Parasite and betitled the actress Yoon Yo-jung from the movie Minari. I thought to myself she must have endured so much hatred as a trans woman. So why did she aim her anger not at the system or the powerful people who oppressed her, but at other minorities, other vulnerable people just like her? Sometimes people who have a lot of pain use that pain as an excuse to attack others. And strangely, that attack is often aimed at people who are weaker than them. Why do we hurt each other instead of standing together? Hate always flows downward, it never aims up. Do I have the right to use my own pain as a weapon to stab someone else? Do I have the same contradiction inside me? I had to look. And I realized I have a similar experience. When I worked at the magazine in Seoul, I never really thought of myself as a minority. But as soon as I moved abroad, I instantly became one. I was a foreigner, an Asian woman. No matter how talented I was, I could feel a rigid system that graded people based on their race. I even remember saying to myself, in my next life, I want to be born as a white man. During the COVID 19 pandemic, I was in Mexico for a cave diving trip and got stuck. All flights back to Korea were canceled. At the time, Donald Trump was on TV every morning shouting China virus, and Asian hate crimes were happening all over the world. I was terrified to even go to the grocery store. On Amazon, t-shirts with the slogan like I'm not Chinese, I'm Korean were selling like crazy. I seriously considered wearing one just to feel safe. I was afraid and I could feel myself starting to resent Chinese people for it. But then I stopped and I thought, so does this mean it's okay to attack someone as long as they are Chinese? Do I have the right to point a finger at someone else just because I'm scared of being hated? I was shocked at myself. And I realized how easily pain can teach you to use someone else as a shield. It's a dark part of our human nature. My experience of living as an invisible minority abroad paradoxically made me more sensitive to the lives of other minorities. In Thailand, I met friends from Myanmar who came from a poorer country to earn money. I met queer friends who had left their homes to find freedom. And I also had to face my own ignorance. One day, I was talking to a British colleague. I thought we are getting close. So I asked him a question I thought was friendly and harmless. Do you have a girlfriend? He just winked at me. I have a boyfriend. In that moment, I felt like I had been hit by a hammer. I was so embarrassed and I apologized to him immediately. Why did I just assume he would have a girlfriend because he looked like a man? Why was I so carelessly following the words lazy assumptions? I hated that part of Korean culture, the intrusive questions about your personal life. But there I was, doing the same thing. My ignorance could have been a sharp knife to someone else. Now, I always take a moment before I speak. I try to be more sensitive, to learn more, because that's the only way we can truly connect. It's connected to what I experienced as a dive instructor in Thailand. As I was 10-year experienced dive instructor and high-level instructor trainers, most of students from Northern Europe or Western Europe or North America. I still remember some of students they said to me directly in my face, "Oh, I never got taught by Asian woman in my whole life. This is so awkward." My professionalism was erased. I was reduced to a simple image, Asian woman. All my hard work, the calluses on my hands from the tanks, the nights I spent studying dive theory, the calmness I used to smooth panicked students, all of it shattered into pieces under their casual gaze. Maybe the answer lies in a fundamental fear we all share. We know that no one is without scars, but we live pretending we don't have any. Why? Because we instinctively know that the moment we show our wounds, they become our weakness, a target of this jungle like world. A child who falls and runs to their parents with a bloody knee and is met with a warm hug and the words, "It's okay," learns that getting hurt is a natural part of life. But a child who is scolded, "Why weren't you more careful?" learns that their wound is their fault, a flaw, and they grow into an adult who hides their scars at all cost, just so they won't be seen as a flawed ever again. The problem is, hidden wounds never heal on their own. They fester inside and burst out unexpected moments, sometimes as anger, sometimes as a depression, and somehow as a sharp weapon aimed at someone weaker. It's what psychologists call displacement. You take the anger you feel towards a powerful war you can't push back against, and you redirect it onto a safer, easier target. A minority hurt by the violence of the system hates another minority instead of resisting the system. So, what should we do? Is there a way to safely bring out our wounds and heal them in this harsh world? First, you don't have to be brave in front of everyone. The courage to show your wounds is not about showing everything to everyone. It's about having the wisdom to find that one person or that one safe harbor who can accept your story. We don't need to wave our flag at every ship. Just one small boat that will listen without judgment is enough. Second, you have to give your wound a name. Hidden wounds have power over us because they are a formless fear. The moment we put our pain into words, we can finally stand face to face with it. The process of turning your experience into a story by writing it down or speaking it out loud, it gives order to the chaos. A wound that has a name is no longer a monster that can swallow your whole. It becomes an object you can observe and understand. Third, you must turn your wound into a map. Once you have found your safe harbor and name your wound, you can now use it in a new way. No longer a weapon that hurts you, but a map for other people who are lost. When does my wound stop being a weapon? It's when I'm the first one to acknowledge it. The moment a sharp word is about to come out of my mouth, I stop and ask, who is speaking right now? Is it the present me or the wounded child from the past? My pain can never be an excuse to attack others. It is my own garden, only I can tend to. When I fully embrace my wound as my own, it transforms from a weapon into a compass. Instead of seeing my own wounds in other people's action, I begin to see other people's pain through my own wounds. My story of failure becomes the greatest comfort to someone who is facing a similar failure, telling them, "You are not alone." My confession of what I lacked gives a deep sense of solidarity to those who are suffering from the same lack. When we talk about how much our wounds once hurt and how we live with them now, we finally become a wounded healer. When I honestly show why my island was once so precarious and sometimes desolate, others learn how to cultivate their own islands. As each island becomes stronger, we can finally build a bridge towards each other. Not bridges of dependence, but bridge of a connection, where two independent worlds meet with a mutual respect. This is the beginning of the loose solidarity that we dream of. Showing your wounds is not proof of weakness. It is the most powerful proof of survival, that you are still here despite all the pain. And it is a sign of deepest maturity that through your wounds, you have learned to understand the pain of others. Your wound is not your weakness. I truly hope you remember this. I hope my story finds its way to you. If you found this journey meaningful, please subscribe and join our community. And if you have any questions about me, life in Korea, or the Korean language, let me know in the comments down below. Welcome to Hana's Island. You are safe here now. I will see you soon. Bye for now.